AAMI Park in Melbourne. The Rebels hosting the Crusaders at this venue for the very first time, and the visitors have Wyatt Crockett back in the starting team in jersey 1. Richie McCaw, the captain, his first start in 7 for the year. In number 8, Luke Whitelock, he partners his brothers Sam and George in the Crusaders pack for the very first time. In the backs, a couple of changes there as well. Willie Hines starts at scrum half, Tom Marshall at 15, and the coach is Todd Blackadder. Well, the Melbourne Rebels, they have Michael Lipman, 10 tests for England, back in the jersey 7, and that's a timely return from injury because there's no Luke Jones at the moment. And in the backs, Julian Huxley starts at 15. The captain is Gareth Dell, and the coach is Damien Hill. He saw his team being very competitive against the Bulls last week. This week he wants to go one step further. Can they pull off an upset? The Melbourne Rebels on their home track, looking for their first victory since downing the Blues in week 7. Their only other win was over the Force in week 5. Cooper Vuna wearing jersey 11, a try last week against the Bulls. He's the leading try scorer for the Rebels in their short history. 6 touchdowns, 2 of them this season. 2 changes to last week's run-on team. Michael Lipman back from injury. That's timely because Luke Jones is on suspension. Julian Huxley is back at fullback. Richard Kingy is tweaking a hamstring during training. There's Lachlan Mitchell. He's been rock solid for them. He's played 26 caps, so he's equal with Nick Phipps as the most capped Rebels in their 2 seasons so far. Our referee from South Africa is Jaco Piper. His 16th Super Rugby appearance. Television match official is Matt Goddard. Assistants are Ian Smith and a debutant, Will Houston. Big night for young Will, and a big night for Kurtley Beale in the number 10 jumper again. 75th Super Rugby game for Beale, and he's still just 23.
Captain. You ready?
Delve is ready, so is McCaw. Week 12. Beale kicking off for the Rebels. First official match between these two sides. They did play a trial game, a pre-season trial. So a turnover early for the Rebels, and now Beale gives it to Mitchell. He got rid of young Luke Whitelock. He seemed to hurt himself, but now they go wide through Delve. Looking for a promising start. Just to take a bit of a sting out of the Crusaders early on. Beale out to Mitchell and Inman. Carter makes the tackle, or slowed him at least, and pick and go here from big Rodney Blake, who's really getting through some work. Wide. Huxley up from fullback, dummying. With the head down, taken by Sam Whitelock. Inside the 22, the Rebels. And Beale. Try and hold him up. Corey Flynn has him. And he's lost it forward. There was good work by Flynn. Let's go sideline, Rod Kafer.
Clarkie, great conditions down here as we see the Rebels with an early foray into the 22. They did very well, looked after the ball, playing with a little bit of depth. Conditions are great, as you mentioned. It is chilly, but just enough breeze around to keep the grass and keep the dew off the grass. So the handling conditions should be pretty good tonight.
Let's go.
Good way to start the game from the kick-off. Claimed the ball, very similar to the Reds last weekend. Got them into the game.
Reds scored in the opening minutes. Speaking of scoring, Crusaders have scored 22 and conceded 20 this year. Rebels have scored 17 and conceded 34.
There's your issue.
Come forward, please, Jim. Just stay there now.
So Willie Hines, 9 on his back for the Crusaders.
Patience. Crouch. Let's go.
Taking plenty of time setting the scrum, Kearnsey.
Let's just see where he forms.
Taking a long time.
Yeah, that's good.
Crockett, Flynn and Franks.
Of course, they want perfection here, of course, Clarkie.
3 Red Blacks in the front row, 3 of 13 internationals in the match day 22 for the Crusaders.
Crouch. Touch. Ball. Engage.
good, strong scrum from the Crusaders to start.
And Hines bangs it down to Huxley. Now Mark Gerard over halfway. Copybook tackle from Taylor. Phipps. Beale. Delve runs onto it. Franks made the tackle. Beale. Oh, that's forward. Just slipped it to Caden Neville, but he'd overrun it.
Gee, there wasn't much in that.
Well, he's unloaded 4 times already. Curtly Beale thought he'd have a dab, but he was defended against. It was Richie McCaw he had to have a go at. You don't know if he doesn't miss too many. He's playing very flat. I'll let you decide yourself. The Crusaders just creeping offside at this early stage of the game.
Curtly Beale against the Bulls last week. 2 line breaks, 1 try assist, 10 runs, 2 offloads, 2 tackle busts, and he didn't miss a shot at goal. 5 from 5.
A bit early in the game for him to be having a dab. He must have seen something that didn't exist. He needs the defence to be a bit more tired.
Coach.
No James O'Connor, Jared Saffy or Laurie Weeks for
Dutch.
the Rebels. No Luke Jones. Jones, most runs, most tackles, and second for line-out wins, so he'll be missed. Kick downtown and allowed to bounce, and it stays in the field of play. So Huxley with no real angle.
It looks like a beauty.
He's done well. Here's the counter.
Quick throw in. Zach Guilford goes high. They come down halfway, knock back. Guilford does a good job bottling up Mark Gerard. So the Rebels look to attack from inside their own territory. No, there's a kick from Curtly Beale over the head of Willie Hines. And it's in the touch, and it might have come off the Crusader scrum half.
Yes, it did. They'll have to bring that back. What was the assistant referee's name? Houston.
Yeah, Will Houston. So an early call for the youngster on debut.
It was a terrific kick. Curtly knew that Zach Guilford is already up and made that attacking play before. Oh, yeah, feet on the line. Bang.
Now, if he was already in touch, that shouldn't have been a Rebels ball.
Yeah, that's right.
But it is.
Straight down to Phipps. And now Mark Gerard. Beale. Mitchell. Fruin is there to wrap him up.
A little bit of a late hit from Dan Carter there on Curtly Beale. After he'd passed it.
Pyle. Core tries to hold him up.
Release blue.
He's trouble for the Rebels. Crusaders, yep. You would have heard Jaco Piper say it's a maul. You've got to use it or lose it. Means the Rebels have got to get it out of there. Their responsibility. If not, Crusaders get the feed to the scrum.
As the bench for the Rebels, Sterling Mortlock. Alongside him is Al Campbell and another Wallaby, Adam Fryer, Test player, of course.
Get your shoulders higher. All of you. Yeah, we're good. Stay there now.
Dan Carter's got a little bit of a leg problem there. He's been limping a little bit. He's got a knock somewhere in the shin, I think. It looked like he was grabbing before.
Coach.
Right leg.
Yep.
Dutch. Ball. Engage.
Oh, that scrum's going to be a problem area for the Rebels tonight.
Kick charge down from Hines, and it's there for the Rebels on the 22.
You can hear the call of the Crusaders. Hold him up, hold him up, hold him up. It's a maul again. This is how they lost the last one.
And again, they earn the put into the scrum.
Well,
Crusaders.
Cave, we talked about this last night with the Bulls, how effective some New Zealand and South African teams are at holding the opposition up. The Australian teams just don't do it.
No, we don't do it, but it's getting caught a little bit high in contact. Body position's so important in the game of rugby, and Hugh Pyle then got caught in an awkward position and wasn't able to get to ground early enough, and then it's an arm wrestle. It's always easier for the defence because if you go to ground as in a maul, you don't have to roll away. So if you're a defender and you can create a maul, you can take that to ground legally, and you won't have to move or roll away.
Touch. Balls.
Lions with the put in. Another good scrum from the Crusaders, and this time it'll go to Carter onto the left foot to clear out of the 22. Gerard, Huxley, Vuna.
Oh, good chase game from the Crusaders.
And Vuna is tackled about 5 from halfway. Here's Beale. Running onto it is Gerard. Inside Mitchell. And he gave it to Beale. Gee, that went forward, but referee says play on, and Beale now flirting with the touchline.
Well, he's done
Great job to stay in. Gerard.
Release.
Phipps.
Well, he might be on his own.
Release.
Troops arrive just in the nick of time. Here's Inman. Throws it back to nobody. And Rodzilla. Pick and go from the scrum half. Now Beale! And he's got one to beat. He kicks ahead. Marshall, did he carry it back?
Yes, he certainly did. 5 metre scrum. Wait until you see Beale. Have a look at that again. As if he was going to shake his head and go for the step, and he just released the ball on his foot. He didn't throw it. This will look brilliant on head on. Have a look at that. He was looking for support at the same time throwing the ball onto his boot without looking. Brilliant.
Oh, he is going to be tired tonight. Gee, he's done some running already. His pass and back up. When we saw Kirtley first come onto the scene, he was a little bit of a selfish player because that's what he didn't have to pass it to anyone else. He was so good. Now he's learnt to pass, back up. That's all the Ellers did. Catch, pass, back up. That's what Kirtley's doing now.
He's flowing across the back of the attacking action is quite good, and for him to get to Phipps then was just stunning.
0-0. And a big scrum here required by the Rebels.
Touch. Balls.
Oh, good scrum from the Rebels that time. That's their best of the night.
And Phipps to Beale. Now it's Inman. Back it goes to Lippman. They drive him back. Great defence. Neville. Pick and go. They need quick ball. Gerard. Dummying Mark Gerard. Did he get it down? No. Great defence by the Crusaders again. Advantage being played for the Rebels. Phipps waits an eternity for that ball to come out. Now he's going to try and dive across and slam it down. We are going to go upstairs. He was playing advantage. Phipps thought he'd have a crack.
I'm just going to go upstairs, just confirm.
Oh,
yeah, he thinks it's a
try,
try.
matey, please.
Yeah, the crowd down there know it's a try. They're booing that he's going upstairs.
Rebels haven't even given a thought to pulling up for the 5 metre scrum or the penalty, whatever was going to come. They're heading straight back to halfway because Phipps knows that, well, there's no problems at all. The fans have just seen it on the big screen.
Try to the Rebels. What a start for the home team. 5-0 kick to come. Phipps scored a try last week against the Bulls, so that's his second for the season.
The Crusaders have not gone anywhere near entering this game. They've been camped down in their 22 for, well, the ball in play for 2 minutes, over 2 minutes now. Rebels have had all the pressure on them. They went so close. A couple of forward runners. First it was Inman to Lippman. And I think Neville had a go. They banged away. They showed good patience. And Phipps has already had a couple of goes. That must have been close there. Mark Gerard. And then this, Phipps. That's his second run of the night. Showing some enterprise.
Yeah, they were expecting it to go wider, I think. It was a nice little duck underneath.
Beale. puts the icing on the cake. 7-0.
Now,
Rebels.
Matt Goddard, the TMO, delivered the news that it was a try in Afrikaans.
Did too.
Did you? He's been learning his Afrikaans.
No,
They're multicultural.
those
Refs.
officials, they're up to hijinks all the time.
13 minutes gone. And Taylor kicks off. Crusaders just need to get their hands on the ball.
Here they are, holding up Inman this time.
The
And they
possession
turn it over.
The possession is 90% to the Rebels.
There's definitely a hand in there.
No ball. Collapse. Everybody's on the ground. Came loose from the ball.
The Rebels are going to get the put in.
A bit lucky there, I thought.
Yeah.
Playing knock on to Inman. Jacco Piper said it's come loose out of the maul. 2 players contesting the ball.
Gotta get those shoulders high.
So not a knock on. The Rebels have looked good. Curtly Beals looked good. Kearns, you mentioned when he first came to the game, it was his long passing that was a problem for him when he was playing at fly half, and he's really worked on that. He's crisp, particularly that right to left pass. It's really good long. Still a little bit of work to go on his left to right, but he can distribute the ball now really well.
Well, I think that's worrying me about him tonight, Kaif, is the passing of their centres. The 12 for 13. Lachlan Mitchell doesn't normally play in the centres, and inside centre particularly. He's normally a winger. Some of his passes tonight haven't been that great. We've seen Inman throw a Barry Crocker just before. So it looks like the passing from 9 to 10 is good, but we've got to worry about what happens outside there.
For our international viewers, Barry Crocker.
A shocker.
Get those shoulders high.
Not good.
Barry, one of Australia's finest entertainers. Good evening, Barry.
Oh, he'll be watching. Loves his rugby.
Dutch.
That is Barry McKenzie.
Pause. Engage.
Penalty goes against the Rebels, and it's a waste. As they had to put into the scrum. But you get the feeling, as you've already indicated, it's going to be a long night for the Rebels pack. Crusaders, they won the rematch of last year's finalists against the Reds, 15 points to 11 last week, but they didn't score a try at home in Christchurch, and it's the first time they've gone tryless in Christchurch since 2000.
Here's the scrum. White Crockett on this side of the scrum. I just can't see why that was an issue for Rodney Blake. Every scrum that Crockett's packed, he's gone down. Assistant refs, do your gig.
Tom Taylor. That's White. He continues to shoot for goal for the Crusaders. Remember, 31 points against the Stormers back in week 8, which was a Crusaders record. So 7 points to 3. A scrum penalty.
First time they'd been inside the Rebels half, and they scored 3 points immediately.
Go high with the restart, and it's taken by the Crusaders. Hines to McCaw.
Release.
Penalty.
You're on your knees and he's playing it back. Number 3.
Rodney Blake on the wrong side of the referee again.
That's their one and only ruck and maul. We're nearly 17 minutes in, and that is the first time the Crusaders have taken the ball into a breakdown.
Yeah, well, Rodney Blake's not supporting his own weight there. That's quite clear.
Yeah.
Good win by Whitelock. Carter. Hines to Luke Whitelock. First time the 3 Whitelock brothers have started a pack for the Crusaders. They're flirting with the touchline.
Gee,
Good
did
job
well
to stay in the field of play.
Yeah, did a great job to stay.
There's ball. It was a maul.
And eventually it comes out and through and gives it to Taylor, and now it's across to Romano.
It's a maul. The ball dropped out.
10-metre mark.
Release now.
Taylor.
Trouble.
Franks. Fruin. tried to get rid of Inman, but the Rebels outside centre holds on. Big tackle from Caden Neville. Maitland to Franks, now Crockett. Taylor, Sam Whitelock, so some continuity now for the Crusaders. Maitland get involved. Advantage. Oh yeah, penalty. He wasn't going to play advantage. He blows it up immediately.
Yeah, that was a clear penalty. Hugh Pyle just laid straight over the top there in the way of that coming out.
For 9 phases of play, they went at him, the Crusaders, and then get the reward of a penalty, and Taylor will have a shot. It's tough work.
What do you make of it so far, Rod Kafer?
Well, the defence is very good. It's been a real problem, as we know, for the Rebels. John Muggleton's done a lot of work over it. You've got to get to a point defensively where you start to trust yourself. And in these situations here, when you've got a team on the ropes, they've gone nowhere for 9 phases, they weren't going anywhere. You just have to back your defence that you're good enough to generate a turnover without doing anything silly like not rolling away in a tackle. It's a soft penalty 40 metres out from your own line. You can give that penalty, test the referee 40 metres downfield when the team's coming out of their half and don't have an opportunity to kick points. Don't test the referee 40 metres out from your own line and give them an opportunity to kick points.
When you got a bloke who's kicking at 85%.
Crazy.
$112 points this season already, and he hasn't played in every game. And there is another 3 points for Tom Taylor. 7-6 Rebels over the Crusaders.
I think a lot of Cantabrians must come to Melbourne to live. It's cold here. Must be a bit the same. Similar climate.
Crusaders, no matter where you go in Australia or any of the 5 cities that play, they've got a franchise in rugby, always the Crusaders are the best drawing team. They've got so many fans because they've been so such good winners over the years.
How good are they to watch?
Rebels have 2 Kiwi scalps at Amy Park, though, as Boona runs across field and now links up with Inman, who turns it back to Mark Gerard. So Rebels have beaten the Hurricanes in 2011 and the Blues in 2012. Oh, that time the bounce is okay for Lipman. Loses his footing, about 10 from halfway.
No hands!
Well, it needed width there, there's no doubt about that.
Like Lipman thought there was someone else outside in the pass was intended for.
And Beale, a flat pass. Robinson up over halfway. Where's the support?
There's still a lot of room this side for the Rebels.
And Beale goes to Huxley. He flicks it back on the inside to Vuna. Good catch there in the slips by Phipps. Inman lays it back. Dive pass to Beale. Doesn't mind taking on the line, Curtly Beale. Now it's Phipps, and Huxley moves into first receiver. Lipman. Taken by Franks.
Release it!
Here's Pyle. Blake. Sam Whitelock stood his ground.
Even now.
Beale. Gerard pops it up for Inman. Needs to stay in the field of play. Does so. Now they set themselves again. Beale. Wide ball. Delve in midfield. Got through one, but the cover is there to drag him down.
It goes 7!
Building up nicely here for the Rebels. Here's Beale, looks up, gives it now to Pyle again. Advantage being played here for the Rebels.
Yeah, no attempt to roll away from the Crusaders.
A lot of red jerseys on the ground.
Oh, and Frank's trapped underneath there.
Clark, it's the beautiful shape the Rebels are getting in their attacking pattern that I'm really liking. I love the way they're looking. They've got Kirtley Beale and 1 or 2 runners up flat. They had Jed Robinson making that break. And then they've got this second wave of width and depth, guys looking to penetrate. Kirtley Beale's choosing, I can hit the forward runner and put him through a hole if there's one there, or I can put it out the back to a second receiver. Mark Gerard, particularly on this right wing, something I love, is really holding the width. And that's why they're finding some space when they pass the ball left to right. It's Gerard there in picture, the old man of the team.
Yeah, Kofi was hoping that Inman was going to be a bit flatter coming around the outside then.
Yeah, he was really asking for it. Here he is, Mark Gerard, having a chat to Sterling Mortlock, talking about it, saying keep the width.
You think he's the old man of the team because he made his Super Rugby debut at
29.
18. 29.
I know, but I like to call him an old man.
Gareth Dell, 29. Michael Lippman, 32. Davidson, 29.
He's the old man there.
Blake, 29.
Mortlock.
Henderson, 31. Mortlock, 35 this month.
Joe, is he?
He's sitting about 1.5 meters from me.
Did you notice, Cave, who cleaned out when when Pyle just hit the ball up then?
Tell me, mate.
Kirtley Beale.
Yeah.
Passed it and cleaned out. Jeez, he's doing some work.
Yep.
And just for good measure, he'll kick the goal.
So it's 10 points to 6, the Rebels. Wallaby coach Robbie Deans in the crowd tonight, so I think he'll be pretty pleased with what Kirtley Beale is doing in the 10 jumper. Bearing in mind that 10 jumper, a bit like the All Blacks during the World Cup, it's been jinxed in Australia this year.
Hasn't it?
I think he'll be happy with the pace that the Rebels want to play the game at. He likes a fast-paced game. And the Rebels are delivering tonight.
Oh, wasn't all that voluntary.
Caden Neville just manages to hold on. And Huxley gets the kick away, sending Maitland down into his 22, across to Marshall.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Gerard. Marshall takes it outside the 22. Hines. Taylor.
Romano lucky not to be penalised there for blocking Gerard's way.
Huxley running onto it, now giving it to Vuna. And Vuna gets past 1, 2. Cooper Vuna hands it off, but they couldn't link up. But Huxley was there to clean up. Lippman, now Neville.
Now needs some width.
And Beale drags it in now. They start to line up. Pyle can't find a way through. Core made the tackle. Beale.
Out one.
Davidson. Switch of play. Robinson.
Release 2.
Pass down to the attempted tackle of Luke Whitelock. Now it's Neville. Big strapping young lock. Beale. Wide ball, Booner. This time he gets the pass back to Mitchell.
It's done well then, Mitchell.
Nick Henderson, 98th game of Super Rugby. He's never scored a try, wouldn't he? He'd be happy to get what we call a meat pie, a 5-pointer. Now it's Neville. Goes in high, taken by Romano initially. So it's still there for the Rebels. And that's not a great pass. Oh, after all that, a poor pass sees Taylor. Clean it up for the Crusaders. They'll just take their time and look to clear it.
Oh, what a tragedy. 10th phase. Surrendered
Hines.
possession.
No, is that out?
Yep.
Yep.
So well done, Crusaders.
Oh, it's a meek end to a good attacking program they had aimed at the Crusaders there. Vuna decided he had the pace and the fend. Well done. If that pass would have hit, no, he was well catered for.
We chatted a lot about Robbie Fruin prior to the game. Haven't called his name yet.
Yeah.
27 minutes in, he hasn't had a touch.
Nick Phipps would love to have that pass again, wouldn't he? But anyway, they have it. And they launch another attack, 45 metres out. Phipps hands it off to Blake. He really pleased for Rodney Blake. Had a reputation of not being fit and not being able to get through the matches. But with Laurie Weeks injured, he's had to step up, and he's been playing the majority of the 80 minutes each week.
He's one of those players that just the more you play him, the fitter he gets. If you just give him 10 or 20 minutes every game, he doesn't achieve much.
Flat pass there to Lippman. He almost overran it. Now it's Beale, and he gives it out to Robinson, who's had some nice touches so far in this game. Beale kicking him behind the line, but I don't think his teammates were aware of it, but it might come off for them.
Stand still.
Oh, this is a good posse for Huxley.
Release 3.
Ran into Big Owen Franks. Make the most of it.
It's off the foot.
They don't make the most of it, rather. And Pyle has to go back.
Oh, what about that pick-up?
And the Crusaders pile in. Penalty. Well, this is what they can do to you, the Crusaders. They weather the storm, and then they put the foot on the throat.
Advantage from the side.
Another
right.
advantage here. Delve, a little anxious there. Flynn. And Whitelock, McCaw, out to Taylor. Oh, pulled down by Pyle. Brilliant stuff, but pick and go here. Easy try for Sam Whitelock.
Oh, there's no justice after that tackle by Pyle. He would have come back for a penalty, but Whitelock got him on the spot. Crusaders have gone 90 metres, if you remember that pass from Phipps. Turn the situation around, and next thing you know, they're getting a 5-pointer.
Oh. Brilliant play from the Crusaders. They just kept running. All of them can catch and pass. Look at that. All of them catch and pass. Good ball from McCaw. Tom Marshall nearly gets away. Pyle, what a great effort to hang on there. But it was Whitelock. Just ran out of numbers to the Rebels.
You're right about the skill level. A couple of them are going across field, but the Rebels had to hold their line, and in the end there were 2 on the overlap. And Hugh Pyle reached out, a big paw pulled him down. Have a look, he's there. Numbers 3, 4 and 5. No backs to be seen doing the wide defence.
Nice strike.
Oh,
it's a cracker. They're in front, the Crusaders. 13 points to 10. 1 try apiece. Well, Kathy, how many times have we seen that over the years? The Crusaders under all sorts of pressure, and then they just turn the game on its head.
Well, they're a team who understands 80 minutes of rugby. They know that the Rebels are off to a fast start. Dan Carter said it pre-game. He was cautious of it, so they were aware they were coming.
Beale kicks off, and so far in this match, possession favouring the Rebels, 74%. Now George Whitelock. I wonder if the Whitelock brothers had a little gamble between themselves to see who was going to score first.
first try scorer.
Get out.
Huxley down into the middle of the park.
Wonder if Mr. and Mrs. Whitelock have a bet about which one of them will be first try scorer.
I figures with Mother's Day tomorrow. Oh, have a look at some action here. Vuna.
Release
Trap.
that.
And again, the red and blacks pour in. And there's another penalty. And again, it's in range for Tom Taylor.
Yeah, that's why I can't pick it up. Shot.
Cooper Vuna shrugging his shoulders, just clarifying for the referee.
Michael Lippman just telling him the rule now.
If anyone's in any doubt, Cooper Vuna came across from the NRL, played for the New Zealand Warriors and then Newcastle Knights for 5 seasons.
Looks a bit fitter this year, I reckon.
He's going all right. Well, he's a good target for Kirtley Beale to hit on that left side.
Crusaders, they won 2 of their last 6 in Australia. Remember, they lost 3 to the Reds and 1 against the Force. But they're looking for their 3rd Aussie scalp in consecutive weeks. Waratahs by 4, Reds by 4. And at the moment, they lead the Rebels by 3. Make that 6.
Oh.
16 points to 10.
He is a metronome. It just swings perfectly every single time.
Well, there's no need for Dan Carter to put any extra strain on the groin.
I noticed Dan Carter actually doing some out of hand kicking tonight. Hasn't done much of that in the last few weeks. Groin problems.
Crusaders leading 16 points to 10. Whitelock taken by Mark Gerard. Hines going high again. It's just another magnificent chase, but a good take by Huxley. Now they hold him up.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's from a kick. So even if you don't get the ball out of this one, the Rebels get to hang on to it.
Stay ball, taken from a kick. It's a kick.
Thank you, referee Martin.
But notice the first action of the first two players there. One was McCaw, I think the other was Romano, and then Maitland. Yeah, I think it was Maitland came in. No, Zach Guilford was to hold him up. There's Guilford. Look, two of them. Hold him up. That's the first act that they're doing.
Yeah, that doesn't happen by coincidence. They're training for that. The dance tackle, it virtually is.
Is that your official name?
No, have you got a better one?
No.
Ireland, of course, at the Rugby World Cup did it so many times to the Wallabies and Pat McCabe.
Crouch. Come on, Luke.
Yeah, if you run in an upright manner,
Dutch.
look out.
Pause.
We'll have another reset. Damien Hill, first-year coach of the Rebels, first year as head coach, assisted by John Muggleton, Nathan Gray and Matt Cobain. Saw some promising signs last week when they scored 28 points before the break against the Bulls. That was their biggest haul in the first half of the game. This Crusaders coaching panel is doing a wonderful job too. Todd Blackadder, Daryl Gibson and Dave Hewitt.
Crouch.
They've got youth on their side. They'll be around for a long time if they want to continue. Penalty. Take us through that one, Phil.
Well, again, I think Jaco Piper's got it wrong there. You look at Wyatt Crockett's arm, the left elbow of Wyatt Crockett goes straight down. That causes the scrum to collapse.
So he's saying he's dropping his bind down to Rodney Blake. There you go.
Well, look at the elbow down. Now, how can Rodney Blake, that be his fault? He was aiming at the ground, Wyatt Crockett.
Well, that's what he was accusing Rodney Blake of.
So Flynn throws in good field position here for the Crusaders. Wide ball and Carter gets hammered by Mitch Inman.
Oh, the ribs invited Mitch Inman in there.
Taylor, why'd they go to Fruit? Why not give him the ball? Catching the chill out there.
He lost it.
Huxley just runs it across the touchline, so we'll have a scrum.
Oh,
will we? No loss forward.
Well, Julian Huxley's run out there on the belief that it was a knock-on from the Crusaders, and the crowd thought that as well.
Well, Jaco Piper, that's the third time this game he's ruling that when the opposite team rips the ball out off the Crusaders, it goes forwards.
Taylor
knock on.
Now Fruin.
Release 7.
Hines. McCaw trying to spin out of the tackle of Delve, but Delve holds on. Hines to the hooker, Flynn. Taylor.
Advantage red.
Advantage for the Crusaders. We'll have a scrum. There's Todd Blackadder. Great Crusader, Cantabrian, All Black over the years.
He had black hair before he started coaching.
Come on.
Plenty to do. The Rebels need to be on their guard.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. Crusaders 16, Rebels 10.
And the most dangerous posse to have a scrum. Inside the 22, enormous blind side at the top of the screen. That's where the opportunities are.
Yeah. It's coming out to the left-hand side. We've just seen the whispers go through from Tom Taylor to Fruin.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Carter position immediately behind, and they go right. Double row with Hines. Good tackle from Inman. So they won't panic, the Crusaders. They'll be patient here. Franks. Hines to Taylor. Taken by Lippman, and he loses it. Great work, Lippman ripping the ball out, but now what's the call? Well, Lippman ripped the ball out.
No, Seven played it in
the act of the tackle, I think.
Played it in the tackle.
Just releasing the tackle, that's all.
He's saying that he was already tackled and then ripped it out.
Gee, there's some good sting in the Rebels' defence.
Yeah, I was just about to say, the thing that I like, whenever one of the Crusaders' big names gets the ball, the Rebels are accelerating into that tackle. Whenever Carter's getting it, whenever McCaw's getting it, they're accelerating. Here it is here.
Well, I think that's a fair contest of the ball. It certainly looked like it. Obviously, the referee saying he held on for a split second too long.
Yeah, the ball literally looking like it came out before he hit the deck. But he hit the ground first, so Taylor gets a golden opportunity now to finish the half on a high. No problem from there. Half time at AAMI Park. And only the 2 tries, but plenty of action. The Crusaders lead the Rebels by 19 points to 10 after the Rebels led 7-0. Second half underway. Carter. Davidson did well, and he's away, up over halfway. Hines stopped him, slowed him down a little, and now it's Mitchell across to Beale.
Oh, lovely.
Kicking in behind the line.
Oh, no.
Came off the legs. Chase is a good one. Beale's up there. But the Crusaders secure it, and back it goes now to Taylor. And into the touch on the far side.
Curtly Beale on that occasion sending Lachlan Mitchell, his inside centre, in to go first receiver so he could have a little bit more room, but in the end he ended up kicking towards the corner, not all that efficiently.
So Jed Robinson throwing and finding Pyle. That's Beale and Inman. McCaw is there to wrap him up. Phipps out to Beale. Quick hands and Vuna, the go-to man on the left wing. Went into George Whitelock.
Powerful effort.
Beale out the back. Mitchell, Inman. Davidson.
Without the ball.
Chance to run.
And Maitland will kick. And Huxley has to go all the way back towards his 22. And straight through goes Huxley. George Whitelock makes the tackle on the 10-metre mark. Lost it forward. Beale, wide ball. Davidson again.
Needs width again.
Delve. Huxley. Caden Neville. So Hugh Pyle.
Using their width.
Tackle, going forward.
Not coming out of there, so the Rebels will get the put into the scrum. James O'Connor, I believe he's going to have a medical this week to see how far away he is from returning to the field.
Well, we'll see it. He'll slot into the 10 or 12. But Cave just wanted to make a comment. Obviously, the Rebels at half-time, or we might see some of this replay action, have made a decision to get Kirtley Beale a little bit wider. They're throwing Lockie Mitchell in at first receiver.
Well, it's sort of been off a couple of kicks, Marto, and a little bit. I don't think he'll necessarily slot into that second receiver role. I think we'll see him back in that first receiver position. He's been very good. Every time he's had a touch, Kirtley's done really well to take the ball to the line and pin those guys. He's mixed his game up well. This is that beautiful little drop onto the toe. That was something special. And that ball as well. Just the deception in his play has been very good. You can see that flat ball. It's a cracker. And the wide ball there off the left hand. That's a beautiful seed. He's in great form tonight.
And, of course, he could be wearing the Wallaby jersey with 10 on it as well in the June tests, Scotland and Newcastle, and then the 3 tests against Wales, Brisbane, Melbourne and Sydney. What a month it's going to be.
Yeah, Neville copped a big elbow to the nose, accidental, from the kickoff, so I think he was having that looked at there.
Kenzie, I saw Jaco Piper, the referee, just have a long chat to Rodney Blake while we had that injury break about his scrummaging.
Well, I just received a text from someone who's quite close to New Zealand, or knows New Zealand rugby well. Apparently Crockett was left out of the World Cup squad because they couldn't be convinced of the legality of his scrummaging. So New Zealanders are concerned by it. Those powers that be there. And also, while that happens, Mike Cron is the referee's consultant on scrummaging. He's a New Zealander.
Well, was the All Black scrum coach.
And is still a scrum coach in New Zealand. So wonder who's putting thoughts in their head.
It is better, we keep it like that. Joe bind up, okay?
Is this a Phil Kearns conspiracy?
Yeah. No, I know some South Africans that are concerned about it as well.
Crouch.
Well, this Crusaders scrum has been the benchmark.
Touch.
I think they've got Ben Franks on the
Balls.
bench. Artillery. 1-22.
Yeah, look, it's big spin over there.
Another reset required. Crusaders 19-10. Crusaders have got the Blues next week at home. They'll be playing quite a few matches in Christchurch in the run-up to the playoffs. Second in the conference at the moment behind the Chiefs. Chiefs play the Reds in Brisbane tomorrow. What a match that's going to be.
Crouch. Touch.
Rebels travel to Perth next Sunday to take on Force.
Oh, let it go. Well done, referee.
Now it's Beale showing and then giving it to Lachlan Mitchell. Phipps. Held on to him.
He did well to maintain possession there. Phipps under incredible pressure.
Pyle offloaded to his captain.
Away forward.
Delve.
Yeah. Piper's got it. There were a lot of lurkers there in red jerseys.
Right in front of the post.
Whoa. Yeah.
They've really made a mess of the breakdown, the Crusaders, tonight. They've focused a lot of energy and effort in the first half. No better than that man, Richie McCaw. Let's see what he has to say.
There's no advantage to us when it pulls over. Yeah, I get what you're saying. The ball was at the back end. I understand. Yeah. But we just get the game on the go.
His reputation precedes him in such a way that referees find it hard to get stuck into him.
It's not good. So we got to get the height. I think we should make the gap a bit smaller.
He's doing well in his first start. 61 minutes off the bench prior to
Smaller and higher. That's all we can do.
starting in the number 7 jersey. Kirtley Beale to narrow the gap. 19 points to 13. First points of the second half going to the Rebels.
Sterling Mortlock here, very keen to get on the field. Can't wait for his opportunity. You feel like it's coming in the next 10 or so minutes.
Carter again. Plenty of hang time for his chasers to get under it. But they make a mess of it, the Crusaders.
A couple of little things going the Rebels' way.
Huxley. Down to Maitland.
She covered that kick beautifully.
Maitland hasn't had too many opportunities with ball in hand. He beats the player now, gets it back to Marshall. Halfway mark. Penalty.
That was against Whitelock, as in George Whitelock. But the player on the ground was hanging on to the ball. Tom Marshall refused to release it.
Mark Gerard.
Oh, he's one of his specials.
That's a terrific kick.
We keep talking about it when he kicks for touch. Have a look, Tom Marshall. How long does he hang on to this? Have a look. There's a player on his feet trying to grab it. That's not what the penalty was for, though.
I think he had the advantage there, Marto, as well, Jaco Piper. Opportunity now for the Rebels.
Jed Robinson goes to the back.
It's over the 15.
Finds Davidson. Now Delve. Oh, it's not coming out of there.
It's still up off the ground. It's a maul.
Held up off the ground. It was a maul. They are masters at that tactic, the Crusaders.
Well, I mean, the Rebels have got themselves to blame. There was good defence from the Crusaders, but they weren't dynamic enough. Henderson and Delve coming around the corner. They really needed to be hitting the ball straight and hard. They were still running a bit of crossfield and not enough pace.
That's the third or fourth time tonight. Turnover of ball from a maul by the Rebels.
Crouch. Dutch. Balls. Engage. Stay on.
Hines.
Lovely
touch.
kick.
Well done, Willie. Great work, Willie.
Willie Hines, his first start at scrum half. Two-handed take again. And Beale. Oh, Mitchell did well to hold on to that one.
Oh, isn't that good presence under pressure?
The pass was a mile forward.
Yeah.
And Beale. No advantage there, so we're coming back.
McCaw had his hand on the ball there, not allowing that to come out, and Piper saw it.
Well, it's 48 metres back. It might be outside the Beale range, but maybe Huxley will have a crack if they want to go for the post.
Gerard will probably have the long-term go.
No, they're going to kick for touch. They're here to play. You reckon that one was forward Cave, but Lockie Mitchell within the tackle did well.
Oh, it's a mile forward.
Oh, look at this kick.
Mark Gerard, take a bow.
We keep talking about it because you can. It gives you such an advantage.
Well, that's what the Waratahs could have done with last night.
Yeah, oh, it's a great, you know, it's the difference between a line-out that you just throw in and win and attack from, and a line-out where you've got a chance to score a try immediately from. That's the difference. Great kick, Mark Gerard.
Robinson. To the back.
Come in, 7.
So can they come up with a try this time, the Rebels?
Crusaders had great body height, but the Rebels have got good structure. You got Robinson at the back.
Robinson still there.
They're holding him up again. Not now.
White 7.
Phipps. Lipman goes to ground.
Lost 6.
In no hurry at the moment, the Rebels. Robinson, fired a shot out.
Yeah, and they too high in the running position.
Pyle did well to hold on and then get to ground. Pick and go.
White up close, 7, 5.
Caden Neville went backwards.
Rodney Blake's done well. Save that.
So they're losing ground, the Rebels.
Oh, these Crusader defence coming off the line so quickly.
Phipps now out the back to Kirtley Beale. It's a cut-out pass to Inman. He steps back on the inside, but Fruin holds on. Gerard out to Robinson. Crockett makes the tackle.
He was too high going to that tackle as well.
And the ball is trapped there, and they're going to drive over it. No, penalty.
He's going to get it. That's the third time. Not rolling away, stopping the ball coming out.
It's not a warning. I'm asking you to improve that. It's a play on the wrong side. He's got his arm over the ball. He's just not moving it. Okay. That's all.
Take the points. Keep the pressure on via the scoreboard.
Arm over the ball. No. Stop.
Kirtley Beale points to the sticks.
Take that. They need a reward for all the work they've been doing in the last 3 minutes or so, the Rebels. They probably need a breather. Here it is, Guernsey.
Yeah, arm went straight over the ball to stop it from coming out.
Beale chips it over. 19 points to 16. Still the Crusaders in front. But a little bit of momentum for the Rebels. But it's not unlike the first half. The Rebels had the majority of the possession in that first 20-minute period. And the Crusaders finish stronger. Willie Hines coming off. So his night is over. Andy Ellis is out there. Gerard. Guildford right over the top of him. That time the Crusaders looking to go long, just wanting to try and force a mistake and get some field position.
Guildford was 1.5 meters in front of the kicker then.
Huxley puts it into touch around about the 22. So
I'd like to see the refs in a number of games.
And Sterling Mortlock makes his way out for his 140th appearance in Super Rugby. So he's third on the all-time list. Nathan Sharp still leading on 157. Kevin Mialamu from the Blues, 141. And Mortlock, 140. Lachlan Mitchell coming off.
Yeah, he's had a reasonable game tonight, Lachlan Mitchell. Started off a bit slow, but as the game went on, his passing improved. His running and defence was good.
Good field position and possession now for the Crusaders, and they cough it up.
Remember that same move they scored against, let me think, the Highlanders, where Israel Dagg scored a try. Where Robbie Fruin presents the threat. Here it is here. First time they've really touched the ball. Robbie Fruin presents the threat. Then he has runners on each side going through.
Yeah, Delve rushed up and made the tackle.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, and I know, Kaif, we've discussed this before, that both teams tonight and a lot of refs are allowing the defenders to be halfway up the ruck rather than behind the last feet.
Yeah.
Referee Yucko Pipe has done a pretty good job, actually, of keeping the game flowing.
Interesting change. Taylor coming off the field, and Ryan Crotty is on there. So Dan Carter moves to fly half.
Shoulders up. Crouch. Shoulders up. 1, 2, shoulders up. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, that's all right. Let's go.
I wonder if he's got a nickname like Jubers.
Let's go.
Craig Joubert.
Yeah.
Who? Jacko Piper.
Piper. Is it picked a peckle or something like that? He's got to have one.
Crouch. Dutch. Ball. Engage.
Sultan.
Huxley. Gerard stabs it down. Marshall.
Oh, it does well.
Just like Israel Day. Beats 1, 2. Puts them on the front foot up to the halfway, and here's Carter throwing the dummy and having a run. Taken low by Hugh Pyle. To the left they go. And inside from Guildford to Maitland. Making the short side. Luke Whitelock. Back to Ellis McCaw.
Ball's out.
Ellis. Romano goes backwards. Maitland. And over the top to nobody. Crotty. Not a lot he could do in that position. Ellis to Crockett. 97th game of Super Rugby for the big prop. 10th on the all-time caps list for the Crusaders. And Carter taken by Beale.
No, he didn't like that, Kirtley.
Well, he's in perfect position. But for the Crusaders to kick after that many phases shows the Rebels' defence got the job done there. Still a lot of aggression in their defence.
17 is on there, Ben Franks. 15 tests for the All Blacks. So he's on for his brother Owen. Flynn straight to Whitelock. He hands it down to his brother Ellis with a face massage. Flynn. Franks.
Sounds good.
Romano. That's good work. Good pick and go. Carter out the back. Fruin. They need to get him into the game. So to Maitland. And he gives it to Marshall, who kicks ahead. And Phipps places it. So we'll come back to the 22.
Not a bad result for the Crusaders, but just feel the pressure mounting. They'll get the ball back again here from this 22.
Well, it's almost like they're ready to push the go button, Cafe, getting the likes of Fruin, Maitland and Guildford into the game.
Looks like it, but just as we start to see the game open up, the heavens open up, a bit of rain coming down here, Kearnsey, you'll be delighted to know that.
I'm upset for you.
But I don't have a brolly down here, so going to get wet, but looking forward to it this last 20 minutes. Rebels really playing above themselves. No question about that.
Well, they said last week's performance against the Bulls, even though they lost, was the line in the sand. They wanted to carry on and compete against the top teams. And they're certainly doing that. I think they're much better than the Crusaders at this time of the season. And McCaw over the advantage line, but this time he's holding on.
Hugh Pyle on that occasion, I think it was.
Full blue. Arriving player.
That's got the coaching staff moving the Crusaders bench. They're all up now. Kieran Reid's on his feet. Donnelly's on his feet.
Mate, these Rebels are hanging on, but we did say, oh, that's another magnificent punt kick from Mark Gerard. We did say, if the Rebels can stay close, here's the penalty. So it wasn't Richie, it was his supporting player.
Take a line.
Have a look at the number of red jerseys on the ground, off your feet.
Caden Neville, the blood was pouring out of his nose earlier on, but it stopped for the time being as Vuna takes them on, and Crotty holds on, but he gets the pass away to Kirtley Beale.
Vuna's power has been on display tonight.
Phipps just hands it off to Rodney Blake. So they're inside the 22, the Rebels. Phipps, just no one to pass it to. Gives it to his captain, and he's held up off the ground. Now he goes to ground.
Phipps is looking for runners.
Well, they need to show patience. Either a try or a penalty again. Now they're down in the 22.
Nick Henderson.
Beale's looking for some quick ball.
Rodney Blake still there. Phipps gives it out. Inman, switch of play. Huxley. They raced up on him. It was good work. And here's the red and black jerseys pouring in, and they turn over. And Carter gives it now to Maitland. Maitland taken by Inman and also Vuna. 11 from halfway. Franks. McCaw. Ellis. Curtly Beale running across, taking it on the full. Chips it down, and it's going to sit up nicely for...
Well, everyone's offside because Curtly Beale was hit after he kicked it. Stop. There might be a report here.
Sterling Mortlock giving Richie McCaw a huge shove in the back.
Get me a number. Nothing really in it, okay? He's just running to the player after the kick. Which number? You don't have number. Report, just running into the play after the kick, so it's just obstruction. No. Wait, over here. It's landed over here, after the kick. 15 in. Right here.
Did you pick up? What did Richie say to him there at the end, Kearnsey?
Didn't pick it up. He was speaking Kiwi.
Not happy.
Oh, there's nothing in that.
A bit embarrassed.
There's a bit of
a few people in the crowd suggesting he should go and play soccer.
I actually didn't see it. So
there's a little bit of interference from Dan Carter, but nothing to worry about.
No, that wasn't worth a penalty. Crusaders harshly done by.
Well, it's a David and Goliath battle, and at the moment, momentum is with the David. Oh! Heavy landing, but hopefully he's okay. To hold on to the ball.
No, he's
still
not all right.
Down on the ground.
Get the medics on for him.
Now that hurt him. You could see it straight away. Huxley.
Halfway mark.
Everybody's trapped. Look.
It's going to be a scrum right on halfway, and the Rebels will get the put in, and it's Kieran Reid.
Kieran Reid just on the field with his enthusiasm, went across the line, jumped out of the reach of his lifters and crashed to the ground on his right shoulder, I think.
Yeah, I think they let him.
Yeah, me too.
They let him go, I think. There he's up there. Yeah, his lifters have let go of him.
So Campbell is on for Pyle. That's L. Campbell for the Rebels. And Donnelly. 15 tests for the All Blacks. Coming off the bench for
Shoulders up.
Kieran Reid, who also came off the bench. 16 minutes remaining, and it's the Crusaders 19-16. So the Rebels are leading the second half 6-0. It's 9-10 at the break.
Crouch. Touch. Balls. Engage.
Phipps. Dummies. Chris Ellis had him covered. Now he gets it away to Delve. And Delve over to the big number 4, Caden Neville. Still there for the Rebels. Great work down the short side by the forwards. Now it's Gerard Mortlock. Fires it over the top to Inman. Inman gets it back to Mortlock. He throws it over to Huxley. Cooper Vuna taken by Marshall. Crusaders pour in, but it's still there. 17 is John Owen, the replacement prop, and he loses it, and now Maitland can either kick or they can run. He fires it over to Zach Guilford.
He's hardly touched
Guilford
the ball.
will kick. Curtly Beale. Oh, what a tackle!
Is that by Crockett?
And beautifully placed too by Kirtley Beale, by the way.
Mortlock. Campbell, inside ball. Mark Gerard showing it and going. And now it gets out to Phipps. And Phipps has got a double. And the Rebels are in front.
Oh, fortune favours the brave, and that's what they were. The wide passes and finally just the little one, and Gerard slipped through. He didn't have the pace. In the old days, he would have gotten there. But he needed Nick Phipps, who just loomed up on the inside. No wonder they're happy. They have worked so hard tonight, the Rebels.
I was a bit worried about the first pass from Sterling Mortlock. Marginal. But then Phipps, that was beautiful. Delve, a lovely pass from Garrett Delve.
Well, this is the earlier piece where Neville laid it back.
There was some terrific stuff. They kept driving, and here is the first ball from Mortlock. Oh, no. And a lovely ball on the inside to Gerard. Steps off the right foot, tripped a little bit, but it was Phipps backing up. Carter couldn't get to him.
Oh, that's a reward. They've spent 8 minutes and 26 seconds in the opposition 22. The Rebels, have a look at that one. Threatened to go the grubber and then found Phipps for the try.
No, it was Marshall, couldn't get to him.
The step, and Beale adds the extra 2.
Oh, game on.
23-19, Rebels over the Crusaders.
No question, Clarkie, that right foot step's always been one of the great weapons for Mark Gerard. And he set it up, the little dummy kick, it looked beautiful. Some changes here on the bench. They're ringing them. Huxley's off. Others changing. There's all sorts of action on here. Jed Robinson, Fryer on.
Well, it's still a long way to go.
Like James Hilgendorf is fullback now for the Rebels. Or maybe 5'8" with Beale at fullback.
Gee, it was a good kick from Mark Gerard there with no space. And a great chase from the Rebels too.
Well, this is where the Rebels want to play it.
But just watch the Crusaders try and hit back here. The older heads will try and... Oh, intercept from Mortlock. Oh. Mortlock, has he got the pace? He gives it to Vuna. Vuna gives it to Mortlock. And Sterling Mortlock will score a try. Oh, wowee.
Oh, and he'll be counted from the field because they've just crunched him down the corner.
Every Rebel has rushed to sandwich him. Oh, he had a double dip at it too. Oh, that is awesome for the Rebels.
56 tries in Super Rugby, making his debut in 1998.
You called it, Greg Clark. You said that the Crusaders, here they come, and they did come. The pass went from Franks. Mortlock was good enough to conquer a bunch of forwards, but he didn't have the legs. Gave it to Vuna, threw and grabbed him, and Mortlock didn't need to be at full speed.
Oh, terrific stuff from Cooper Vuna. I mean, it was great from Mortlock. He just put himself in the right position there and had enough pace to get away from that first tackle. Vuna supported beautifully. He was able to get that last one away out of the Fruin tackle. Oh, look at them go.
He's missed so much rugby this year. You wondered whether you'd ever see him score a Super Rugby try again. Well, there it is. James O'Connell leading the cheering. Have a look at the grandstands behind the reserves. Huxley pumped up. He's just come off the field.
That's why he wants to play at the age of 35. Some would say it's stupid, like me, but that's why he's playing.
Look how much fun that is.
And Beale can't add the extra 2. His first miss for the night. But it is 28-19. Rebels over the Crusaders. 10 minutes to go. Could this be the upset of the year?
Century, Clarkie.
Israel Daggs on, the big guns on for Marshall and fullback for the Crusaders.
Again, they go long. And Gerard thought it might have been going out on the full, but no, bounce, and so it's going to be a throw into the line out for the Rebels, but this is what the Crusaders want.
The longer the Rebels can postpone Crusaders making one scoring play, they'll win this. 9!
You can just see the urgency now in the Crusaders, what they're doing.
And there's a steal. And here they come.
Adam Fryer not happy with that throw. It was too short.
Flynn. Discipline the key also here for the Rebels.
9 off, 9! The greatest team in the history of Super Rugby. They don't panic.
Saw it from the Bulls against the Waratahs last night in Sydney. Still a long way to go, and Carter now gets it out to Fruin. Guildford. He's out.
Oh, hold on. Israel Dag did something that Michael Lippman saw. There's another fight over behind the try line. What happened there?
Oh, it's all happening.
No, there was a quick throw in.
There's the ball involved.
Yeah, it's a quick throw in.
Players out of each other.
Whitelock came through and hammered Phipps then.
Players out of each other over here.
Inman did so nicely, and Boona helped him out soon afterwards.
We haven't said much about Mitch Inman. It's been his best game. Fryer takes the quick one.
Come closer.
It gets Kirtley.
Nick Phipps.
Phipps hammered.
Anyway, Adam Fry says, I'll go again.
There's some tension here.
8 minutes remaining. Can Fryer find the target this time? Yes. He goes to Caden Neville. Hasn't he been impressive? Only his second start in Super Rugby.
Yeah,
part of what they call the EPS, the extra professional squad. Comes on as injury cover. He was a rower at the Australian Institute of Sport not so long ago. Had a crack at rugby, and here he is, playing for the Rebels. And Phipps gets it out now. Oh, it's a high one, and Gerard did very well indeed, but he's not going to find touch, so it comes down around halfway.
They got a good chasing line.
Here's Day, one of the best counter-attackers in world rugby. Oops. They look to be a little bit rattled. Lost forward, and the Rebels,
they are smashing them.
You reckon they're not keen, the Rebels? Look at that for a chase.
And listen to the Rebel yell around Amy Park as well.
Oh, Michael Lippman on the way up. Get a bit of that into you, gave a rub on the head.
Oh, it's like a bunch of rabid dogs just coming down on the ball.
Gerard had enough trouble escaping with that kick, and next thing you know, they're roaring downfield. They've got the spirit.
It's like there's an old leg of lamb out there that the dogs are going for.
Keep the patience.
Sterling Mortlock marshalling the troops in the back line. I think he wants a shot at Dan Carter here.
Dutch. Balls.
Free kick against the Crusaders. 6 minutes remaining.
You're going to have another scrum.
It's going to take some time, isn't it?
Well, it'd be much smarter for Sterling Mortlock to run at Dan Carter than Robbie Fruin, for example.
Oh, yeah. You want to drop on the inside line.
Oh, mate, we said he was old, not dumb. He knows exactly where he's going. I would have liked to see the Rebels then. The scrum's been under pressure all night. I would have loved to have seen him just hoist one higher. Good old-fashioned up and under from here. And all of them pour through. Would have put some pressure on. 10 out from the Crusaders line.
They are the newest team, the Rebels. They've had some heartbreak in the last 10 minutes of a match. You've only got to go back earlier this year when they played the Cheetahs. The Cheetahs scored a winning try after the bell. They've been close before. And, here's the Crusaders holding them up again.
They called lift him. You could hear it.
Yeah.
Let's remember, Crusaders are going to make 2 scores. One's got to be a try.
Well, if there's anyone capable of it, it's them.
That up and under was looking good, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Just hoist it and chase.
Just stay straight. You're starting to get my attention for that. I'll get him square for you.
Not a lot of joy on the Crusaders bench. They certainly didn't come to Melbourne underestimating the Rebels. They knew what the Rebels were capable of after they were very competitive against the Bulls last week.
That was the turning point. They finally believed in themselves. 4 tries in the first half, and tonight's defensive performance.
But it's not over yet. And Alice to Carter. Wide they go. Maitland. Dag. Into touch. Hilgendorf thought about a quick throw-in.
No, you don't think about a quick throw-in when you've got 3.5 minutes to go.
Time's their best friend.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to do this, the Rebels.
12,000 here at the last match against the Bulls.
Geez, I reckon there's more tonight.
18,423.
And got their money's worth.
Yeah, plenty of people at either end of the ground as well.
Kept the Crusaders scoreless in the second half.
Davidson, who's had a fine game tonight with the win at the line out. Well, they've all played well.
Oh, they have. Mark Gerard's had a cracker.
You just felt the momentum was with the Crusaders. You thought they were going to really put the foot on the gas in the second half.
The big difference tonight has been Nick Phipps' passing game. Nearly every pass has been well in front of the ball runner, so they've had to be on the front foot.
And the experience also, Phil Lipman back in the starting team.
Oh,
now Beale.
Smart. That's clever.
It'll sit up now. Daig.
Well, the Rebels won't mind that. It'll waste a bit more time.
And Beale, a banana kick. Finds touch just inside Crusaders territory. 2.5 minutes remaining. Rebels in front. Crusaders need to score twice.
Gee, how often do you see it, Marto, when a team rests some of their big guns and maybe not take the game as seriously, and it backfires on them.
Down it goes to Ellis.
I'll tell you, watching the warm-up of the Crusaders, they look really into this game tonight.
Well, they're a team of professionals. Oh, Motlop throws Romano into the turf. Carter, great ball, but good defence as well to shut it down. And they steal it. Hilgendorf has it. Nick Phipps.
Oh, that looks good.
And a touch it goes. Maitland has no one to throw it to. We are looking at the biggest upset ever by the Rebels. Certainly the biggest upset.
What about this tackle?
In 2012. Mortlock, ball and all.
Oh, the crowd is going nuts.
They are going to erupt at Amy Park.
Leave it!
The defensive pattern has worked very, very well tonight as well for the Rebels.
John Muggleton take a bow. Damien Hill, head coach, assistant coaches, Nathan Gray and Matt Cobain. You've instilled a bit of belief into this team. And the Crusaders just can't get out of their own territory.
They've been kept scoreless in the second half, the Crusaders. That's the stunning stat.
The big question is, can the Rebels somehow get the ball and score a bonus point try?
Oh.
Wouldn't that be the icing on the cake? Penalty though, and it goes to the Crusaders. Well, for the Crusaders, the key now is to come away from Melbourne with at least one bonus point for losing within 7. Carter will bang it into touch early. At half-time, the Crusaders led 19-10. They haven't been able to score a point in the second half. Last week in Christchurch, they couldn't score a try against the Reds. That was the first time they were held tryless in their hometown since 2000. 18 points to nil so far in the second half to the Rebels. We're about to witness a bit of history here for the Rebels. The Crusaders' first visit to Melbourne. David versus Goliath, and David's going to do it again. Here's Ellis, dummying. Up over halfway he goes. The siren has sounded. Can they score some points and come away with the bonus point? Dang, thought about offloading, then took the tackle. They're almost down on their feet, the Rebels. They're going to dig deep. Here's Fruin down the short side, floating with the touchline. Stays in the field of play, no problem there. And the Rebels drive over. No, still there for the Crusaders. Carter, Romano, and Mortlock is straight onto the lock again.
Leave it, 16.
Trouble here if they go wide.
Carter gets it to McCaw, and the great man drops it. And that's the story of the night for the Crusaders.
Look at the Rebels.
Full time at Amy Park. They call it the Stockade, and tonight it really was the home of the Rebels. The Melbourne Rebels. They pulled off the unthinkable. A major upset. The Rebels 28, the Crusaders 19.